up, guys? Slick here from the WG on Xbox YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning in to the second installment of the best class setup for the any given operator in Black Ops 4. In this episode, we're going to be looking at Ruin. In the last episode, we looked at Torque. If you haven't seen that one yet, make sure you go back, click on that one. I'll explain what this series is all about in the beginning of that video. But as for this video, let's just jump right into the Ruin class setup. So Ruin is one of the more competitive operators, more high-skill operators to use in Black Ops 4. Mostly because it's got that enhanced movement ability with the grapple, and it's got that ground pound, which is devastating if you use it strategically on the objective. If you're somebody who already plays Ruin, you probably already figured out a class setup similar to this. And if you're somebody who doesn't play Ruin, I'd highly recommend using him because it's going to, number one, it's going to increase your natural skill as a player if you use some other operator. But number two, it's just really good as far as how you're going to traverse the map, how you're going to get quick kills. And if you can play this game up close and in somebody's face, especially when we're already in an AR-dominated public setting right now, this class is really going to speed up the pace of the game for you, and it's going to give you an entirely different outlook on the game. So right now, the weapon of choice for anybody using a submachine gun is the SOG, and that's what we're going to start out with in this class. The SOG is by far, by all metrics, the best submachine gun to use right now in the game. Submachine guns just are generally very weak. This one is an exception if you use it properly and use it up close. And if you're using Ruin, I wouldn't recommend using anything other than a submachine gun, just because Ruin is supposed to be an up close and personal kind of operator. You're going to want to use a submachine gun with him. And the SOG, it's a high fire rate, close range weapon, and its strength at being up close and with the general class is you want high movement. So to increase that high movement, I put on a stock in the first attachment slot. Now, one of the unique things about this game is that you have different tiers of attachments. So for the SOG, you have a tier 1 stock. You could also use the tier 2. Now, I've found that running a double stock isn't that significant on most weapons in the game, but in the case of the SOG, if you want to try it out using that instead of one of the other attachments that I'm going to suggest, go for it. But I think that when you see the perks that I'm running on this class, you're going to find that it's really not all that important to also be running with the double stock. After the stock, I put on grip. Grip, I think, is really important with the SOG, just because if you're trying to push your range at all beyond a close, trying to hit medium range shots, just the high rate of fire and the fastness that it rises to a kick, you're going to want the grip to keep that recoil under control. And then the third attachment I use, obviously you're going to have to use primary gunfighter here. The third attachment is the quick draw, and quick draw pairs really well with one of the perks that I'm going to suggest here in a minute. And quick draw, if you're playing up close with the SOG, you can hip fire with it, of course, but with how fast it shoots, and if you're not strong on the sticks, quick draw is going to help you get in sights real quick, lock your target down, and get that quick kill that you're going to need as you're moving up close. So just to recap real quick, we got the SOG submachine gun with stock 1, grip, and quick draw. I don't use a sight on the SOG. I think its iron sights are pretty good, especially for up close. If you want to waste a sight attachment on just because you can't handle it, you probably either want to drop stock or drop quick draw. But again, I don't think a sight is necessary. So moving on to the perks. The perks are a little bit different. You're going to want Scavenger as your first perk. Now, I've seen people use Flak Jacket with the submachine gun class, and I just don't think the Flak Jacket is crucial enough with this class to make it worthwhile. If you're trying to get big kill streaks with this gun, you're going to want Scavenger of some sort, or you're going to have to be picking up weapons as you go. It just burns through ammo reasonably quickly. So Scavenger for the first perk. In perk 2, I use 2 perks, so we're going to have to use perk 2 Greed here. The first perk is Lightweight. Like I said earlier, this class is all built on movement, and to be able to move with the best of your ability, you're going to want that increased sprint speed. And the fall damage on this one might actually be a little more beneficial if you're trying to navigate around the map. If you got to go, up a tower or something, you jump out a window real quick, no fall damage, that's a luxury. But really, it is all about that increased sprint speed using the submachine gun. And then the second perk, which is an incredibly underrated perk, and it's actually banned in the COD World League right now, is Gung Ho. And Gung Ho basically reduces the sprint time to ADS to practically nothing. Nothing in comparative terms of what it would be without Gung Ho or with any other weapon. So when you stack Gung Ho with quick draw, from the first attachment slot, I mean, it makes this weapon incredibly lethal. You can move super quick, and then you can stop on a dime and then just immediately start lighting up into somebody with near perfect accuracy, again stacking up that grip on it now. So that's really where this perk Gung Ho complements so many of those attachments just really, really well. And I'd recommend using Gung Ho on any of your classes in general, but especially for a submachine gun class or any close range weapon class, you're going to want to use Gung Ho. So just a quick recap of the perks: we have Scavenger, Lightweight, Gung Ho. Moving on to your gear here, the Stim Shot, just standard, and I'm going to use it on this class. Stim Shot, especially if you're playing up close, you're going to need it to keep yourself alive if you get in a quick gunfight and you're up close and personal around the objective or something like that. Stim Shot's going to get you right back into the fight, and that is crucial. If you wanted to use the ComSec device to get your streaks quicker, I can see that, and I respect that decision from some players. But I think for most of us, Stim Shot's going to be more vital to getting your kill streaks than getting it in less amount of score. And just quick recap on the wild cards: obviously Primary Gunfighter 1, and then Perk 2 Greed. Now, as far as the actual strategy goes behind this class, and since this video isn't just about what is a good class, it's also about what is a good strategy for using both the Operator Ruin and using this class in tandem. Your strategy should be to work around the objective, and when you're navigating an objective, especially in a hard point, let's say you got a big hill, you can get from one side of the hill to the other using the grapple gun really quickly. And if you can use that grapple gun effectively around an objective, then you're really hard to kill. The grapple gun is one of the fastest recharging specialist abilities in the game, and you have to be able to take full advantage of that. If you're riding on your grapple and you haven't been using it for a minute or two, that's a waste of this class and a waste of this operator. Using it frequently, even if you may not see it necessary, it's going to benefit you in the long run. You're going to pick up a couple kills out of that. It's better to get yourself in a good position. Some people use it defensively to try and get out of this situation. I think that's a bad idea. If you can use the grapple gun offensively and to put yourself in, proactively put yourself in a good position, that's the best way to go. As far as the grav slam goes, the grav spikes, you can also use that with the grappling hook. Yeah, you'll see that once or twice in this video where I grapple and then I grav slam, just because I think it's it's kind of cool to do. It's quickly stringed together, and it's going to prevent you from getting shot while you're using the grav slam, which is something that happens reasonably frequently. If you're grav spiking, you're just going to have to time it properly, know what's coming around that corner, and then pop it. So that does it as far as the tactics go for this class, and like I said, we already covered what the class is. Just to run through one more time, you're going to use the Operator Ruin, using the SOG with Stock, Grip, Quick Draw, your perks, Scavenger, Lightweight, Gung Ho, and Stim Shot as your gear. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one when we cover Seraph.
I guess something's broken.